Hello all, so today we're going to be talking about an alternative method that you can use when you're factoring trinomials that have an a greater than 1. So this is the part 1 to a two-part video. Part 1 is going to really just focus on the strategies and what happens when we have both positives. Part 2 will focus on the same examples but with negatives. So the first step is still to identify a, b, and c. So a is 3, b is 11, and c is 10. So we still have to multiply a and c, so a times c, so 3 times 10 is 30. And we have to identify the factors of 30. So 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't work, 5 and 6. You still have to figure out which two will help you make 11, which in this case is going to be 5 and 6 as long as they're both positive. So now we really do a different strategy here, okay? So what we're going to do is set up two parentheses. They're both going to get a 3x. So this 3x squared came from two x's being multiplied together, and then we're going to put the 3x in the front, okay? So this means we have too many x's, because if I multiply 3x, we have too many numbers, because 3x times 3x is 9x squared. So that's a factor of 3 too many, but we'll figure that out later. So we just start by taking this number and an x and putting it in front of the parentheses twice. Then we're going to take these numbers and put them at the back. So if I multiply this out, it would be too much. It wouldn't be the exact trinomial we have up here. So instead, remember when I said we put in too many 3's? Well, now we're going to have to divide out a 3. So this a, keep in mind, it's going to come from one of these parentheses. So in this example, 3x and 5 have nothing in common, but you'll notice this 3x and 6 do. We can actually divide it by 3. So that means 3x plus 5 is one factor, and then do this division, 3x divided by 3 is x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, and now we're factored. You need to keep in mind that whatever you're dividing by actually winds up being your a. Okay, so let's take a look at example number 2. Once again, a times c, so a is 2, b is 7, and c is 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. 1 and 6, 2 and 3 are the factors. The only two that are going to help us make 7 are 1 and 6. So we wind up setting up our parentheses. So since this is 2x squared, it's going to be 2x and 2x. Again, we put in too many. One of these shouldn't be here, but we're going to put them both in for now and figure out which one doesn't work later. And now we put in our plus 1 and our plus 6. You'll notice that 2x and 1 don't have anything in common, but 2x and 6 do. They have a 2 in common. So I'll divide by 2, keeping in mind, this 2 is the same as a, which means I'm taking out a factor of 2, which makes sense because I put in 2 too many. So now we just do the division, and we wind up with x plus 3, and we're done, factored. Okay, so if you want to take a look at number 3, go for it. Okay, so a is 5, b is 16, c is 3. So a times c is going to get you positive 15. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. The only two that help us make 16 are 1 and 15 as long as they're both positive. So let's set up our parentheses. 5x and 5x. And now it's going to be plus 1 and plus 15. We have to take out whatever's in common. So here I have a 5 in common, which makes sense because that's what a is. So now this is going to be 5x plus 1 times x plus 3, and we're done. Okay, so let's take a look at example number 4. So we have a 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. A is 6, b is 7, c is 2. So a times c is going to be 6 times 2, which is 12. List your factors, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. The only two that help us make 7 are 3 and 4. So let's set up our parentheses. So this is going to make a 6x and a 6x, which once again, if I multiply, make 36x squared. That's not what we want. We want just 6. So we know something has to come out of these. We're left with plus 3 and plus 4. So when I look at the first set, there is a 3 in common, but you'll notice that doesn't match. But we have another factor of 2 in our second parenthesis. So now you notice that this 3 times 2 helps you make 6. Because remember, we're doing division, so if we do the reverse of multiplication, that's how we wind up seeing if we took out enough to make the 6. So 6x plus 3 divided by 3 is going to be 2x plus 1. And then 6x divided by 2 is 3x. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. And we're done. So this makes sense because you can check going forward. So if I multiply this out, I'm going to get 6x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 2. And then we combine like terms, and we wind up with 7x plus 2, which is our original, so we know we did it correctly. All right, thank you so much for watching A Heisey Creation. Have a great day. Bye-bye.